This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, register, and attend one of our incredible networking meetings. We meet the 1st through the 4th Tuesday at the Whole Foods in Newtown Square. We meet the 1st through the 4th Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Steve Conroy of Conroy's Contracting. Steve, welcome to the podcast.
All right, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Steve, what is Conroy's Contracting?
I'm a building and remodeling contractor. I joke it's a lot of the stuff that you see on HGTV, um, but not as fast, not as many clean shirts involved.
And how did you get started in contracting?
So I started out, I was 19. Um, I'd never really actually been involved in the construction field or knew anything about the construction field too much. I kind of just needed a job at the time, and it just so happened to fall into it and kind of fell in love with it.
For contracting for you, what is it you love about getting up every day and going out and changing people's lives is really what you do?
I guess there's a lot of parts I like about it. It's always something different. I mean, there's a couple constants, but really every day is kind of a new problem to solve or a new, you know, just a whole new set of circumstances. And just being able to kind of take a space that is either outdated or not fulfilling what people want to get out of it and being able to transform it into something nice that they love. It's, I think, find pretty satisfying.
Talk to some of those projects, the way you're helping homeowners and businesses perhaps transform those spaces and make those changes.
Yeah, so a lot of our work is kitchens, bathrooms, basements. We'll do a deck here and there. Really, I'd say for the most part it's interior remodeling. So a lot of times, people, either their needs will change or they'll just be ready for something new, or they'll need more space. Um, so you would call someone like me basically to come in and basically transform the space for you.
What are some trends that you're seeing in those kitchens, those bathrooms, those decks every once in a while? What are people doing? And what's on the cutting edge that you're seeing that people want to add to their home?
So a lot of times we'll be getting requests. It's really just maximizing the space that people already have. I mean, sometimes people do additions and stuff like that, but really, I guess maybe it was just the way they designed houses, uh, you know, back in the day, so to speak. A lot of stuff's really closed off or just not a very good use of space. So for kitchens or sometimes bathrooms too, you'll get a lot of where people want like an open concept to kind of, take down walls, not make everything so blocked off.
You mentioned HGTV. So I'm going to ask you, gray, is it in or out now?
We still get it. There is still a lot of grays that's still in, but yeah, that's funny you say that. Yeah, gray's still in. Um, a lot of stuff, white cabinets and different things. There's some stuff that'll be, I think, kind of timeless, no matter how trends change. But gray is still in. I can confirm that for the people.
As you're working with those customers, those design centers, what trends would you like to see happen that you could say I was on the forefront of that?
Well, from a design perspective, I guess again, back to HGTV, I'm more chip than I am the Joanna Gaines aspect of it, if that makes sense. So I always tell that joke, but really, you know, I guess I don't really have a preference in terms of design. I can give people just, an idea of what, we've done in the past and what's worked and what, you know, helps kind of the flow of things. But in terms of the colors or all that sort of deal, I don't really, I guess, have a preference too much.
What can people expect when they work with Conroy's Contracting?
It's a good question. So I guess really my main focus when I try to deal with people is just understanding that, for one, for the most part, we do residential remodels, so you're in people's homes, which I think takes specific temperament and has to come with a degree of respect. So I think that's one part I've always done well. Um, Really, it's just good communication and just being able to actively listen to people and what they're trying to get out of the project. I think that's a really important part of it.
If you're doing a home remodel of your kitchen and your bathroom, what are some tips that you pass along to the homeowner that may not be able to use that space for a little time?
Right. So I try to, or my motto is try to be as minimally invasive as possible. So, if we're redoing somebody's kitchen, that's obviously a little harder. But we can set people up with like a temporary kitchen, or a lot of that gets planned out ahead of time. So that way, when people, do have sections of their house either blocked off or under construction, that way they have a plan. That way they have an idea of like how long it's going to be, how inconvenient it's going to be. And, we try to make that as easy as possible or as less stressful as possible, you know.
You talked about coming to the trades at 19 years old. Who motivates you? Who inspires you? Who are some of those mentors that you've come across that you still resort back to and can hear, or some of the people that are in your life today that are really impacting you?
Right. So I have to I started out in 19. I really only worked for one company. Terry Crumlish at On the Level Carpentry. I gotta give him a shout out because he not only taught me a lot of what it is I know and how to do, but he taught me how to do things, the right way, which I think is important, because once you learn something, it's hard to unlearn things. So I think he always did a really good job um, on just, knowing how to do things the proper way, and he was really good at being able to teach it to me. So I appreciate that.
Steve, how do people get a hold of you? How do they contact you for their home remodel and improvement needs?
So you can always use my cell, 267-339-2790, or my Instagram is also another way to get a hold of me. You can message me on there. Um, Also my email. Yeah, those are probably the main ways to get a hold of me, I would say.
So your Instagram is at Conroy's Contracting.
So it's at Stephen with a PH, A Conroy IV. That's my name. But if you search Conroy's Contracting, it'll pop up for you.
Cool. You're out and about in Delco and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you stopping for your cheesesteak?
It's a good question. Um, I always like to get Pinocchio's cheesesteak just because it's right at home there. I'm right on State Road, so I'm born and raised there. So that's always been my go-to.
Knowing that Pinocchio's is your go to for cheesesteaks, where are you stopping for pizza?
I'd have to give them also the same credit. Yeah, that's always been my spot for sure.
You're spending a lot of time with Pinocchio's, aren't you?
Yeah, not as much these days, but definitely growing up, we'd order from there a lot for sure.
They have a big anniversary coming up soon, so it'll be something to celebrate in Delco. You are out and about and you have a convenience store need. Where are you stopping? Wawa or Royal Farms?
All Wawa, always Wawa. I've, I would hate to know how much money I've spent at Wawa over the years, but they've certainly kept my life in order. Being on the go for sure.
How do you describe Delco to somebody that's never been here or has not heard of Delco before, Steve?
It's a good question. I mean, I would really describe it as it's really just a tough working class group of people. They're I would honestly say they're kind of one of a kind. I mean, I'm glad I grew up here. I like the people here. Um, they just tell it like it is, which is kind of refreshing, I think, in this day and age. But for the most part, just a really kind group of people. Too.
You have friends or
Always.
family coming in from out of town and you want to give them or take them to that Delco experience. Where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
Uh, I would probably just hit the town of media, I would imagine, just because it's close and it's right there. Um, that I guess would be my answer. I don't know. I would have to think about that one a little more, to be honest with you. But I like that question.
Steve, is there anything we haven't spoken about today on the podcast? Anything you want listeners to know more about you or more about Conroy's contracting?
I don't think so. I think I would just tell somebody listening to, like I do feel that every day it's it can be hard work, but if you're doing what you feel like is your purpose in life, I think it makes it a lot easier and almost enjoyable. So it, I would say that I guess that would be my message would be figure out what it is that you were put here to do and just focus all your energy on that. And it might surprise you. It might be something that you never saw yourself doing, but I would say for me, it's made all the difference.
That is tremendous advice. Okay, Delco, you're going through your home. It's feeling tired, a little dated. You want a fresh look, maybe improve the space to what people are looking for and what you'd like to have in your home today. Do give Steve at Conroy's Contracting a call. Steve, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for being a friend of What's Happening Delco. Look, remember, share, like, do all those things in the social for Steve and What's Happening Delco. See, we look forward to seeing some of the great work you're doing in improving people's lives. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a privilege.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.